Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Yula podcast. I'm Zephin.
I'm Josh Morrow.
And here with us is former JV bench Jack Kirschenbaum. Jack, so how do people listen to the podcast?
Audience? He's actually the current JV captain. So
okay, so we are here to give you a weekly source of pop culture, Yula sports, and Yula events. Now, leading off, something that has been bothering our minds that we want to discuss are the playoff races that are going on in the NFL. Starting with the AFC.
Well, I mean, it's a really wide open conference. There's a lot of parity. No team has less than 3 losses.
Oakland Raiders.
Come again, Jack?
Oakland Raiders.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, they have no shot. I'm sorry. The big guys to keep your eyes on are the Patriots at 7-3. Although their porous defense is just awful. I mean, they can't stop a nosebleed. Now the Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers are both veteran teams. A lot of savvy. They really know what they're doing. They're really worth keeping an eye on. They both have fantastic defenses. The Houston Texans are a team that's really been upstart. They're 7-3, leading the AFC South.
Without Andre Johnson.
Playing largely without their best player, Andre Johnson, star receiver. And
gotta keep out for the AFC North, though.
The AFC North does have an issue. I mean, really, the Ravens and the Steelers are going to.
Who are your 2 teams that you expect to make the playoffs?
Don't forget the Bengals.
2 teams that you picked to be in the AFC Championship. Who do you choose? AFC Championship game.
Ravens Steelers.
Steelers.
I think that they're going to make it happen.
They have it right there.
That their defense will just keep them going throughout everywhere.
So here on the Yule podcast, Ravens Steelers AFC Championship game, and we'll see how that works out.
As much as it pains to me to say, my San Diego Chargers will probably not be in the playoffs.
That's hard for him to say.
The Raiders most likely will be.
You guys can't see, but he's crying down there.
I'm distraught.
I'm dead.
Okay. Now moving on. In contrast to the AFC, we have the NFC, which is dominated by 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Green Bay Packers repeat. Everybody's favorite to repeat. They were Super Bowl champs last year. They have the best quarterback ever. Not ever. I exaggerate. But the best quarterback I've ever seen live.
And one of the best dances ever.
It's true. He has the little discount double check going on. Aaron Rodgers is just out of this world, completing passes at like 73% clip, which would be an NFL record if he keeps it up. Minimal interceptions, leading the NFL in touchdown passes.
The surprising San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, like Zolan says, out of the NFC West, a traditionally awful division.
That hurts.
San Francisco 49ers are running away at 9-1. They can actually clinch the division this week. In Week 11, they can clinch the division, which is laughable.
In case you guys aren't familiar with the NFL, that is very, very early to clinch a division.
It's laughable. It's preposterous.
The
next best team in their division is 4-6. They're 9-1.
Miss Newton's Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Miss Newton's and Seattle
and
Seahawks.
And Zephin's St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere either, guys.
Quickly, 2 teams you have to pick to be in the NFC Championship game. Who is it?
Giants Packers.
Packers.
The Giants defense and Eli Manning will help them out in the playoffs.
49ers, pretenders. The 9-1 49ers.
A little bit. I think Alex Smith, what happens if they're down 6 in the fourth quarter? I think Alex Smith can't get it done, which is a shame.
Let's see. Packers-Giants. Moving on. Tim Tebow of the Denver Broncos. For those of you who aren't familiar with Tim Tebow, he was a former 2-time...
one-time Heisman Trophy.
One-time.
Drafted
in the first round. A reach by the Denver Broncos in the first round. They picked him 25th when many thought he was no better than a third rounder. No one thought he should be a quarterback in the NFL.
They wanted to put him in H-back and all this other junk.
They benched him. They benched him for a couple years. Cal Orton, the original starting quarterback, more conventional of a quarterback, did solid for a few years and eventually was benched due to ineffectiveness, and they went 1-5 in their first 6 games. In comes Tim Tebow. And the rest is history.
It's writing itself now. Tim Tebow, he's a guy that he's left-handed. He has a very odd release, shall we say. Very unconventional. But the thing is, he just makes stuff happen. He's a very running quarterback. He's a big guy, 6'3", 240. He's big dude. He just runs people over. It doesn't matter. He has yet to complete 50% of his passes in one NFL game.
But the fact of the matter is,
he just has wins. It's ridiculous. 4 of the last 5.
He's got wins. The intangibles.
The thing is, people talk about the intangibles. The thing is, you can visibly see a change on the Broncos team whenever he comes into the game. They just love him.
One thing we gotta ask. Sorry for cutting you off.
Do share.
They started out 1-5. They're currently. No, they started out 1-4. Now they're
1-4.
They're 5-5 after Tim Tebow took over at 1-5.
Still behind.
But we saw improvement. Do they win the AFC West?
No. It's unfortunate. Kyle Orton's initial ineffectiveness is just too big of a hole to climb out of. And I think Tebow, I mean, as great as he is, I can't see him just winning all these games. It's just ridiculous. I mean, their defense is playing out of their minds. I think that as much as it pains me to say, Jack, calm down. The Oakland Raiders win the division. I think that the addition of Carson Palmer, along with the best 1-2 punch in the league, this side of Arian Foster and Ben Tate, is going to be too much.
We have Jack Hirschbaum dancing in the background.
Yeah, it's
Can't hear me dancing.
It's brutal.
There you have it. Moving on to baseball. As we know, baseball has been out for the past couple of weeks, but during that time, the awards have been announced, which were voted before the playoffs, and the newest one today being Ryan Braun winning the NL MVP over Matt Kemp of your LA Dodgers.
I mean, you know what, guys? We got to think blue. It's a shame. Matt Kemp almost had the Triple Crown, which is leading the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. He led the league in home runs and RBIs and finished slightly behind Jose Reyes of the New York Mets and Ryan Braun of the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, unfortunately, the Dodgers were not too fantastic this year.
Third place in the NL West.
Yeah, which is not exactly the best division.
As we know, voters care a lot about how your team places in their division and how they make the playoffs.
It's all about team record, which is a shame because, I mean, most value really should be who did the most for their team. And without Matt Kemp, the Dodgers are even worse than they were. I mean, this guy batted .324, hit 39 home runs, 126 RBIs, 115 runs scored, and 40 stolen bases. And this is on a garbage team with no line of protection. He's still coming out every day, playing hard, wins a Gold Glove in center field, likely to win a Silver Slugger at his position. I don't understand how he couldn't win. I mean, whatever. I understand that team record is important, but I'm ultimately, by all the advanced metrics and the conventional metrics, Matt Kemp was the best player in the National League this year, and it's a bit of a travesty that he wasn't voted as such.
Yeah, to move on, but I have to say I agree with the Ryan Braun vote.
Really?
Really, I do.
We should discuss this off air. I disagree. We should discuss.
We'll have the outtakes.
This will be raised, I assure you.
Coming up with
Loyal Dodger fans unite against Will and Zephyr. Unite.
I don't care for Dodger fans. No offense to Dodger fans listening, but...
Boo.
Okay.
Boo.
Welcome back to your Yoni Radio. I'm Will and Zephyr.
I'm Josh Martin.
And we're here with our soccer co-captain, Yoni Elkaim. Yoni, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
We're really happy you can drop in and talk to us, and we were wondering if you could tell us a little about your experience on your first season with Eula's soccer team last year. So, what we want to know, how was it adjusting to the players on Eula's soccer team compared to the old players you used to play with back in Vegas?
Well, the school that I came from, I started out I played soccer ever since I got into middle school for that school in 6th grade. And those players that I was playing with, we played from 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. So our chemistry was pretty good, I would say. And so we always knew what runs the players were going to make, when to pass, when to shoot. Like, it was just a very well-balanced team. So when I came into Eula, a lot of the players have been playing from previous years, and they had all the chemistry kind of set grounds, and they were all in sync with each other. So, I mean, it was kind of hard adjusting, but since it wasn't as hard adjusting because I had the basics of soccer, and it was easy kind of transition with players.
Basics. Some people call you Ronaldo.
Well,
He's a little better than basic.
I think they might be exaggerating that, but
of course, it's Messi. Don't worry.
Messi, right?
Yeah.
No, but players like Anon or like Ariel Safarati or Gabi Kohavi last year, and Zach Guetta, of course, they were all they were all good soccer players. So we got in sync together in a very early stage of the season, which allowed us to win a few games, and it was good.
And it's not easy.
So, a bunch of the players you mentioned, Galbi, Zagwita,
right.
These guys are gone. How is Eula going to deal with that on the team?
Well, I mean, as I mentioned, some of the kids from before that have been playing on the team, such as Ariel Safarati and Anon and John Fima. We're all familiar with each other because we've been playing during the summer, and we've been just playing a lot of soccer together, so we all are familiar. Of course, it's a big loss. Like many of the seniors last year, including Kernick, Flinkman, Epstein, they were all a part of the defense. So our whole defense line, not including Ariel Safarati, is gone, and including our goalie. So that's going to be a major hit to the team. Now we have to replace defenses, but we're looking pretty solid. We have the addition of Jazz Guetta and Gabe Simcha, And Moshe Sachs, of course, who was coming off the bench last year, is not going to start because he has more experience and he's doing a lot better on the defensive side.
Well, one thing I'm sure a lot of people want to know, who